Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for tuning in. This is Thomas Sandor Townsend, your licensed massage therapist and your certified meditation instructor. Today we're going over Chapter 7 in the book Mindfulness in Plain English by Bhante Gunaratana. And Chapter 7 is entitled What to Do with Your Mind. The mind is tricky. Thought is an inherently complicated procedure. By that we mean that we become trapped, wrapped up, and stuck in the thought chain. One thought leads to another, which leads to another, and another, and another, and so on. There's a difference between being aware of a thought and thinking a thought. The difference is very subtle. It is primarily a matter of feeling or texture. A thought you are simply aware of with bare attention feels light in texture. There is a sense of distance between that thought and the awareness viewing it. Normal conscious thought is much heavier in texture. It is ponderous, commanding, and compulsive. It sucks you in, grabs control of your consciousness. By its very nature, it is obsessional, and it leads straight to the next thought in the chain with apparently no gap between them. Conscious thought sets up corresponding tension in the body, such as muscular contraction or a quickening of the heartbeat. But you won't feel tension until it grows to actual pain, because normal conscious thought is also greedy. It grabs all your attention and leaves none to notice its own effect. The difference between being aware of the thought and thinking the thought is very real, but it is extremely subtle and difficult to see. Concentration is one of the tools needed to be able to see this difference. Deep concentration has the effect of slowing down the thought process and speeding up the awareness viewing it. The result is the enhanced ability to examine the thought process. Concentration is our microscope for viewing subtle internal states. We use the focus of attention to achieve one-pointedness of mind with calm and constantly applied attention. Without a fixed reference point, you get lost, overcome by the ceaseless waves of change flowing around and round within the mind. We use breath as our focus. It serves as the vital reference point from which the mind wanders and is drawn back. Distraction cannot be seen as distraction unless there is some central focus to be distracted from. That is the frame of reference against which we can view the incessant changes and interruptions that go on all the time as a part of normal thinking. Ancient Pali texts likened meditation to the process of taming a wild elephant. The procedure in those days was to tie a newly captured animal to a post with a good strong rope. When you do this, the elephant is not happy. He screams, he tramples, and he pulls against the rope for days. Finally, it sinks through his skull that he can't get away, and he settles down. At this point, you can begin to feed him and to handle him with some measure of safety. Eventually, you can dispense with the rope and post all together and train your elephant for various tasks. Now, you've got a tamed elephant that can be put to useful work. In this analogy, the wild elephant is your wildly active mind. The rope is mindfulness. The post is your object of meditation, your breathing. The tame elephant who emerges from this process is a well-trained, concentrated mind that can then be used for the exceedingly tough job of piercing the layers of illusion that obscure reality. Meditation tames the mind. The next question we need to address is why choosing breathing as a primary object of meditation. Why not something a bit more interesting? Answers to this are numerous. A useful object of meditation should be one that promotes mindfulness. It should be portable, easily available, and cheap. It should also be something that will not embroil us in those states of mind from which we are trying to free ourselves, such as greed, anger, and delusion. Breathing satisfies all these criteria and more. Breathing is something common to every human body. We all carry it with us wherever we go. It is always there, constantly available, never ceasing from breath till death. And it costs nothing. Breathing is a non-conceptual process, a thing that can be experienced directly without a need for thought. Furthermore, it is a very living process, an aspect of life that is in constant change. The breathing moves in cycles, inhalation, exhalation, breathing in, breathing out. Thus, it is a miniature model of life itself. Breath is a phenomenon common to all living things. A true experiential understanding of the process moves you closer to other living beings. It shows you your inherent connectedness with all of life. Finally, breathing is a present moment process. In the wordless observation of the breath, there are two states to be avoided: thinking and sinking. The thinking mind manifests most clearly as the monkey mind phenomenon we have just been discussing. The sinking mind is almost the reverse. As a general term, sinking denotes any dimming of awareness. At its best, it is a sort of mental vacuum in which there is no thought, no observation of the breath, no awareness of anything. It is a gap, formless, mental, gray area, rather like a dreamless sleep. Sinking mind is a void. Avoid it. The purpose of meditation is not to deal with problems. However, and problem-solving ability is a fringe benefit and should be regarded as such. If you place too much emphasis on the problem-solving aspect, you will find your attention turning to those problems during the session, sidetracking concentration. Mindfulness of breathing is a present moment awareness. When you are doing it properly, you are aware of only what is occurring in the present. You don't look back and you don't look forward. You forget about the last breath and you don't anticipate the next one. When the inhalation is just beginning, you don't look ahead to the end of the inhalation. You don't skip forward to the exhalation that is to follow. You stay right there with what is actually taking place. The inhalation is beginning, and that's what you pay attention to, that and nothing else. This meditation is a process of retraining the mind. The state you are aiming for is one in which you are totally aware of everything that is happening in your own perpetual universe. Exactly the way it happens, exactly when it is happening, total, unbroken awareness in the present time. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me. Stay tuned for next. We have Chapter 8, Structuring Your Meditation. Love you. Peace. Be well.